Hello, this is Coach Wilson, and this is Chapter 4, Section 3. Today we're going to be talking about your duties and responsibilities as a citizen under the Constitution and the law of the United States. All right, and everything about this chapter has been about the Constitution, the amendments, and so we're going to kind of continue with that. One of the first things that you're expected to do as part of your duty under the Constitution is to obey the law. Obviously, whenever they signed the new Constitution, there was a lot of new expectations of who's going to enforce these laws and whatnot. They wanted the Bill of Rights to protect their rights, but there was this expectation that, hey, once we form this, we want you to follow this as the law of the land. Secondly is to attend school. All right, so for anyone that is age 5 through 18, you are expected to attend school and attempt to receive the free education that's been provided for you by the state. That is part of your duty as a citizen under the Constitution. You're also expected to pay taxes. If you look at whether you go buy food, whether you work a job, you're going to pay taxes at all of those places, okay? People who evade their taxes and do not pay them, they are arrested or they end up receiving fines or, various discipline issues. Another expectation is serving in the military, at least for a good period of time. And even to this day, you are required to sign up for the draft in case that our country went to another war, that they could draft you in or basically require you to serve in the military. The last time that we actually had a draft was 1973 for the Vietnam War, and even then it wasn't quite as the draft wasn't quite as large as what maybe it would be in today's times if we had a draft. There's also a lot more people in our country than there were in the 40s and 60s and 70s and various times it's been used. One of the first times the draft was ever used was during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln drafted soldiers from the Union into the military, and that's going to be an expectation of you as a citizen. One of the final duties we'll talk about on this page for you as a citizen is appearing in court. All right, so once you register for the draft and you get your license when you're 18, you are put into a system. Okay, if you pay your taxes or you register for the draft, I believe is the way it happens. You are registered to appear in or register for jury duty, and if you get jury duty, you're expected to appear in court to be a juror for a trial. Now, listen, it may be one trial, you may be on a couple trials, it may be a real serious case, it may be minor offenses that you're a juror on. Okay, but nonetheless, your expectation to appear. A lot of times when you go, they may let you go home early or you may not have to go at all, but generally you are paid to be there, not a ton of money. You're paid to be there, and generally you are given leave from work because it is a federal expectation that you show up to jury duty. All right. Now, these are responsibilities, things that we should do as Americans under the Constitution. First of all is vote. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights guaranteed our rights, and one of those rights is the right to vote. And through the amendments and various things that have been passed, we have a duty and a responsibility to go vote in every election to show what this country's true opinion is and where it really wants to go. Also, you have a responsibility to be informed and to be an informed voter. One of the most disappointing things about not only the last few elections, but really just in general is Americans as a whole have become seriously uninformed about what's going on in the country and what the real information is. The amount of people that you would walk up to that if you took basic civics lessons that you're learning right now and you asked them questions about it, they could not tell you the answer. And that is a result of our country just kind of, one, the internet has done that, but two, just not staying informed and being a good citizen. All right? You should also try to take part in the government. And what that means is not, hey, you should go run for mayor, but you should try to be involved in understanding what's being passed in legislation. Maybe trying to advocate for certain officials. Maybe you're helping on a campaign, or maybe you're, trying to get out information to citizens in your area about local candidates and making sure that you're trying to do your part in advocating for who should be elected and who should not. You should also volunteer in your community. That's one of your responsibilities as a good citizen and as a good American. One of the biggest things that I think is lost in our society is that community service not only is good for the soul and good to help you in your life and understanding what people are going through, but it's also a great way to ensure that your community is the best that it can be. I don't think if you asked any one individual, they would say, "Yeah, I hope everybody else is in the crap hole while I'm, doing great." Nobody wants to see people struggling or having a hard time. It's important that as a country we do this, because if you had this in every little community, then you would have this smaller movement turn into a much larger movement. Okay. And, especially when you get into bigger cities where there's a lot more poverty, that is a very important aspect for you as a citizen. And finally, respecting and protecting others' rights. It's important that you understand that part of your responsibility as a citizen is not only to, try to be involved in the government, take part, be informed, vote, help the community, but also to ensure that you're helping protect and respecting the rights of others. Here's the reality of it. Do I believe everything that you probably believe or your family believes? Probably not. There's probably a lot of differences. However, the way our Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the amendments that we've passed have been set up is to protect the rights of the people to peacefully and safely do what they see fit, and within reason of the government, obviously. But it's important that we try to respect the rights of others and understand that just because we don't necessarily agree with it doesn't mean it's not protected. And so that's one of the big things that I think we've seen as a big argument in America over the last few years, is this idea of, hey, just because it's wrong in my eyes doesn't mean it's not a protected right and that I should not respect it. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Please make sure you're keeping up with all of your notes. We will be coming to the end of chapter 4. If you need anything, please let me know. If not, I'll talk to you soon.